Welcome to Peruvian Traditions, inspired by the writings of Ricardo Palma. This presentation is brought to you by St. Rose of Lima School, a primary and secondary school located in San Borja, Lima, Peru, where students explore history and culture through education and local, open-source artificial intelligence. Today we present The Goblins of Cusco, a story that confronts power, authority, and justice. It follows a poet Viceroy forced to face a difficult truth. Laws may exist and institutions may function, yet justice can still fail. This is not an official historical account. It comes from ancient manuscripts describing a powerful nobleman who placed himself above the law and paid the ultimate price. The question remains, when institutions fail, who bears the responsibility to deliver justice? In 1615, King Philip of Spain appointed Don Francisco de Borja y Aragon, Prince of Esquilache, as Viceroy of Peru. At court, many doubted the decision. Esquilache was young. He was known as a poet. Critics questioned whether a man of letters could govern one of the largest and most dangerous territories in the empire. But leadership is not defined by reputation, it is proven through action. As the new viceroy pressed forward toward Lima to take command, the Pacific coasts remained crawling with pirates and corsairs. This journey wasn't just the start of a government, it was a bold, perilous expedition where the power of the crown had to push through fear, constant vigilance, and the relentless threat of the sea. Filibuster fleets lurked at every turn. Joris Spilbergen, commanding a Dutch squadron, had just ravaged the Chilean coast and now aimed for Callao. On July 22, 1615, the Spanish fleet confronted him. 5 brutal hours of cannon fire erupted off Cerro Azul. Flames engulfed the Spanish flagship. Ships went down. The victorious pirates slaughtered the prisoners without mercy. Panic gripped Lima. Men and women crowded into churches as the aging viceroy braced himself with barely 1,000 men. Spilbergen had brought terror to the Peruvian coast, but then, something extraordinary happened. Why did he retreat without striking Lima? Historians credit the miraculous intervention of the Virgin of Lima, soon to be canonized. Spilbergen fired a few warning shots and set sail for Payta. For now, the threat had passed. Then came the long-awaited news. On either December 18 or 23, 1615, the Prince of Esquilache finally arrived in Lima. He had narrowly escaped disaster on the crossing from Panama to Callao, evading capture by pirates through sheer providence. The city greeted him with a reception worthy of a conqueror. At just 32 years old, this poet viceroy commanded attention the moment his royal ship anchored at Callao. The city council of Lima spared no effort or expense to honor him. Crowds poured into the streets, cheering his safe arrival. Men and women from all walks of life celebrated a leader who had faced danger and prevailed. At court, many had mocked Esquilache, calling him a young man obsessed with poetry and trivial amusements. But seeing him step ashore, unscathed, a protector of his people and realm, the skeptics were silenced. This noble descendant of popes and saints was no mere poet, he was a decisive, courageous ruler, ready to defend his dominions with wisdom and strength. From the moment Esquilache arrived triumphantly in Lima, he threw himself into his mission as governor with relentless energy. He fortified the ports against pirate attacks, crafted smart and fair laws for the silver mines of Potosi and the mercury mines of Huancavelica, and established the first commercial court in the Americas, a bold move for trade and justice. But his crowning achievement was the founding of the famous College of the Prince, where the sons of indigenous leaders were given an education equal to that of Spanish nobles, a visionary step toward shaping future leaders. Esquilache also championed culture with discernment, banning comedies and plays that could corrupt public morals. His palace in Lima became the hub of governance, where letters and decrees from across the colonies were reviewed with the same meticulous care he applied to his poetry, combining intellect, discipline, and vision in every decision. The mayors and officials of Cusco sent an urgent report to Viceroy Esquilache. A lone messenger crossed mountains and valleys for days to deliver the disturbing news. As the viceroy read the document, his expression hardened. The report described how an arrogant nobleman from the ancient Castilla family had claimed exclusive control over a public water source and enforced it with violence against the poor. The Castilla family ranked among the most powerful in Cusco, descended from Spanish conquerors and holders of hereditary admiral titles for generations. The fourth admiral to bear the name was a man consumed by pride, convinced that his lineage placed him above the law. When a poor elderly woman attempted to drink from the public fountain, his servants beat her mercilessly. She collapsed, bleeding, as terrified citizens fled the scene. The report went on. The woman's son, a young priest serving a nearby church, confronted the nobleman and demanded justice. Instead of accountability, he was met with cruelty. The admiral hurled vicious insults and ordered his men to whip the priest in public, making it clear that power, not justice, ruled his house. Humiliated and wounded, the priest went to the Cathedral of Cusco and knelt before the image of Christ. With no faith left in human institutions, he placed a written petition at the altar, appealing directly to divine justice. Men had failed to act. Responsibility, he believed, now rested elsewhere. The Viceroy continued reading, his attention fully captured. 3 months later, a gallows appeared overnight in front of the admiral's house. By dawn, the excommunicated nobleman hung lifeless. No guards heard a struggle. No witnesses identified a culprit. No authority could explain what had occurred. The report continued. 2 witnesses claimed that, under cover of darkness, they saw small, human-like figures, tiny goblins with oversized heads, working in silence. With precision and discipline, they constructed the gallows using rope and timber as if following a deliberate plan. According to their sworn testimony, the figures knocked 3 times at the admiral's door. On the 3rd knock, the door opened on its own. The admiral emerged, dressed in his finest clothes, as if attending a formal event. Without resistance and without a word spoken, the small beings lifted him and carried out the sentence. With the report still in his hands, the Viceroy summoned his secretary, Estuniga. A faint, thoughtful smile crossed his face as he said, "What a remarkable subject for a novel or even an epic poem. This mystery contains everything: power, pride, vengeance, the supernatural, and justice beyond human reach. Tell me, Estuniga, what do you make of it?" He fell silent for a moment, weighing the meaning of what he had read. Then he stood, placed a firm hand on his secretary's shoulder, and spoke with calm authority words that revealed both judgment and restraint. "My friend, what has been done is done, and rightly so. The world might be a better place if, in certain cases, justice were not left to corrupt schemers and predatory lawyers, but to forces that cannot be bribed even if they come in the form of goblins." With these words, the poet Viceroy left a lasting lesson. When human authority fails, justice does not disappear, it finds another path. Power without responsibility invites judgment, and conscience is often the final court. Good night. May God and the Holy Mary watch over us, protect us from injustice, and spare us not only from goblins, but from the remorse that follows when we fail to do what is right.